Rising through the ranks, the making of an angel of death. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Across the galaxy, the Emperor's Adeptus Astartes stand as humanity's greatest defenders, genetically enhanced demigods forged in the fires of perpetual warfare. But even angels of death begin as mortal children, selected from billions to undergo a transformation that will either elevate them to legendary status or kill them in the process. This is the story of that journey, from flesh to legend, from boy to weapon, from human to something far more dangerous. On the fortress world of Macraga, 10-year-old Lysander kneels before the sacred Aquila, his small hands trembling as Chapter Master Calgar speaks the words that will seal his fate. The Ultramarines have chosen him from 10,000 candidates. He does not yet understand that this honor is also a death sentence. Only 1 in 100 aspirants will survive the trials ahead. The transformation begins with agony that would drive baseline humans insane. In the Apothecarion chambers of Macraga, Chief Apothecary Varnus oversees the implantation of 19 gene seed organs, each one a relic of genetic science that predates the rise of the Imperium itself. The secondary heart, the os modula that reinforces bone structure, the biscopere that builds superhuman muscle mass, the hemastamen that transforms blood chemistry. Each organ rewrites human biology, turning mortal flesh into something beyond natural evolution. 60% of aspirants die during the first implantation. Their bodies reject the Emperor's gift. They are incinerated, their ashes scattered to sanctify the training grounds. Those who survive face conditioning that breaks their human limitations. Lysander lifts weights that would crush Imperial Guard troopers. He runs distances that would kill marathon champions. He memorizes the Codex Astartes while his body rebuilds itself at the cellular level. Sleep becomes a luxury. Pain becomes a teacher. Weakness becomes sin. The hypno-indoctrination chambers whisper doctrine directly into developing neural pathways. The Emperor protects. Suffer not the alien to live. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt. These are not mere words. They become the fundamental architecture of thought itself. At 15, Scout neophyte Lysander holds his first bolter, a weapon that fires mass reactive explosive shells capable of destroying light vehicles. His enhanced reflexes process targeting data faster than human thought. His modified nervous system compensates for recoil that would dislocate mortal shoulders. He hits targets at ranges that would challenge Imperial Guard snipers. This is not skill. This is genetic destiny made manifest. The first deployment comes without warning. The world of Catechin 7 has fallen to orc invasion. Scout Squad Umbris deploys via drop pod into jungle terrain, where the atmosphere itself is toxic to baseline humans. Their mission, reconnaissance and target designation for the full battle brothers who will follow. Lysander's first taste of real war comes at 1437 local time when his squad encounters an orc patrol. The Xenos are larger than expected. Crude but effective killing machines bred for violence and nothing else. His bolter round removes an orc's head, spraying alien gore across corrupted vegetation. He feels nothing. The emotion centers of his brain have been conditioned to channel all feeling into righteous fury. The first battle. The Catechin 7 campaign becomes Lysander's introduction to the galaxy's fundamental truth. Peace is the brief pause between wars, and war is the natural state of existence. The orcs have turned an entire continent into a fortress of scrap metal and violence, their warg energy corrupting the very atmosphere with psychic resonance that makes reality itself more conducive to conflict. Scout Sergeant Tiberius leads the reconnaissance mission deeper into enemy territory, where Orc technology defies Imperial understanding. Vehicles that should not function somehow work through collective belief and alien intuition. Weapons cobbled from scrap metal fire with devastating accuracy. The infiltration of war boss Scarfang's compound requires skills that exist at the intersection of superhuman capability and tactical genius. Lysander's enhanced senses detect Orc patrols from kilometers away. His modified muscle structure allows him to climb sheer metal walls without equipment. His additional lung capacity lets him remain motionless for hours while enemy forces pass within meters. But reconnaissance becomes combat when Scout Demetrian triggers a scrap mine, alerting the entire compound to their presence. Suddenly, 5 teenage warriors face 10,000 alien killing machines in their own stronghold. The firefight in the compound's central courtyard becomes a masterclass in Astartes' tactical doctrine. 5 scouts hold defensive positions against overwhelming odds, their bolters speaking with measured precision, while Orc choppers whistle through the air around them. Lysander's first kill streak begins here. 17 Orc warriors fall to his precise marksmanship before his ammunition runs low. But killing is not survival, and survival requires extraction. The rescue comes from above as drop pods thunder through Catechin 7's toxic atmosphere, delivering full battle brothers in tactical dreadnought armor. Their storm bolters and power fists turn the tide in seconds, transforming desperate retreat into systematic alien extermination. Brother Captain Agathon of the First Company strides through Orc corpses like a walking cathedral of destruction. His storm bolter fires explosive rounds that liquefy alien flesh. His power fist crumples enemy vehicles like empty ration containers. This is what Lysander will become, if he survives long enough to earn the privilege. The Catachan 7 campaign ends in total Imperial victory, but victory teaches different lessons than defeat. Lysander has seen how easily life ends, how quickly warriors become statistics, how the galaxy's fundamental equation always balances blood with blood. He is no longer entirely human, but he is not yet fully Astartes, the battle brother. 7 years after his first deployment, Brother Lysander kneels in the reclusium as Chaplain Cassius speaks the benediction of iron. The M7 Aquila power armor that will become his second skin bears purity seals, blessed by the chapter master himself. Each ceramic plate contains nanomolecular fibers stronger than tank armor. Each joint houses servo motors that amplify already superhuman strength. The armor's machine spirit awakens at his touch, recognizing him as worthy through genetic coding that reaches back to the Emperor himself. He is no longer a scout learning war. He is an instrument of the Imperium's will, forged in the fires of genetic perfection and tactical indoctrination. His first deployment as a full battle brother comes when the Tyrannid Hive Fleet Behemoth enters the Ultramar system. The Xenos fleet stretches across solar systems, living ships that consume planets and excrete more ships. A galactic cancer that has devoured entire sectors of space. The bioships do not follow Imperial naval doctrine. They swarm like insects, coordinate through synaptic links that span light years, and adapt to Imperial tactics in real time. Each vessel contains millions of bioforms, specifically evolved to kill and consume human life. The Battle of Macragge's secondary continent becomes a meat grinder that consumes both species with equal hunger. Brother Lysander stands in the firing line as 10 million Tyrannid bioforms surge across terrain that was once fertile farmland. Hormigorns leap with scythe limbs extended. Carnifexes lumber forward like living siege engines. lictors phase through cover with chameleonic skin that bends light itself. His bolter speaks in controlled bursts, each shell finding vulnerable joints in chitinous armor. But for every tyrannid that falls, 2 more surge forward to feast on the corpse. The Battle Brothers fight with disciplined fury, their tactical squads coordinating fire patterns that would be impossible for baseline humans. But discipline means nothing when facing an enemy that adapts to your tactics by consuming your fallen brothers and incorporating their genetic memory into the hive mind. The Sergeant. 20 years of constant warfare have forged Brother Lysander into something even the Codex Astartes struggles to classify. Sergeant Lysander now leads Tactical Squad Invictus, 10 Battle Brothers whose combined kill count exceeds that of entire Imperial Guard regiments. His power armor bears honor markings from 14 major campaigns. His left shoulder plate displays the Crux Terminatus, marking him for eventual elevation to the First Company. But leadership in the Adeptus Astartes means more than tactical excellence. It means making decisions that damn good warriors for strategic advantage. It means calculating acceptable losses in human souls. It means carrying responsibility for deaths that serve the Emperor's will. The Badab War brings Lysander face to face with the Imperium's greatest shame, Astartes fighting Astartes. The Astral Claws have declared independence from Imperial rule, their chapter master Luft Huron, corrupted by pride and ambition. What begins as rebellion transforms into something worse, chaos corruption seeping through the ranks like gangrene through flesh. Sergeant Lysander watches through his helmet's optics as former loyalist battle brothers charge Imperial lines with weapons blessed by dark powers. Their armor bears marks of the ruinous powers, 8 pointed stars that hurt to look upon, demon faces leering from shoulder plates, tentacles where human limbs should be. They were once heroes. Now they are everything the Imperium fears most. Angels fallen to become devils. The siege of Badab Primaris becomes a lesson in the mathematics of civil war. Every rebel Astartes killed represents decades of genetic enhancement and training lost forever. Every loyalist casualty weakens the Imperium's defenses against external threats. The galaxy burns while its defenders tear each other apart. Lysander leads his squad through fortress corridors that echo with bolter fire and screaming chainswords. His tactical genius has adapted to urban warfare, breach charges that punch through fortress walls, close combat techniques that exploit power armor weaknesses, suppression fire that pins enemies for precision kills. But genius means nothing when facing warriors of equal training and superior desperation. The rebels fight with the fury of the damned, knowing that surrender means execution, while victory might mean survival. The Captain. Captain Lysander stands atop the ruins of Hive Tertius, watching through his helmet's tactical display as 3 million Imperial Guard troopers prepare for the final assault on Orc-held territory. His promotion to captain of the Second Company came at the cost of his predecessor's life. Captain Ventris died holding the line, while Lysander led a flanking maneuver that saved 2 entire regiments. Command brings terrible clarity. Individual battles become part of larger campaigns. Individual deaths become statistical necessities. The moral weight of leadership grows heavier with each strategic decision that trades lives for victory. The Damocles Gulf Crusade against the Tau Empire demonstrates warfare at the scale of star systems. Captain Lysander coordinates with Imperial Navy vessels whose weapons can crack continents, Titan legions whose god machines stride across battlefields like walking cathedrals, and guard regiments whose numerical strength staggers imagination. The Tau fight with technology that often surpasses Imperial capabilities, pulse rifles that fire plasma bursts, battle suits that grant individual warriors the firepower of entire Imperial squads, drones that coordinate through artificial intelligence protocols. But technology cannot overcome fanatical devotion backed by genetic perfection. The greater good philosophy of the Tao represents everything the Imperium fears: aliens who offer hope, technology that improves life, and society based on merit rather than birth. They do not worship dark gods or seek to consume humanity. They simply refuse to kneel before the Golden Throne. This makes them more dangerous than any chaos cult or tyrannid hive fleet. They offer an alternative to the Imperium's suffering, and alternatives are heresy. The Chapter Master. Chapter Master Lysander kneels before the Golden Throne of Terror, his Terminator armor bearing the accumulated honors of 3 centuries of warfare. The Emperor's psychic presence burns in the throne room like a dying star, maintaining the Astronomicon that guides Imperial ships through the warp, while slowly consuming 1,000 psychers daily. He has become legend incarnate, genetic perfection refined by centuries of combat, tactical genius proven across 100 battlefields, spiritual devotion tempered in the fires of absolute faith. The Emperor's finest creation, perfected through trials that would destroy entire armies. But legends carry the weight of their own mythology. Every decision echoes across the galaxy. Every battle shapes the future of human civilization. Every death serves purposes greater than individual understanding. The 13th Black Crusade brings Abaddon the Despoiler to the gates of terror itself, leading chaos forces that have gathered for 10,000 years. Chapter Master Lysander leads a coalition of Space Marine chapters, Imperial Guard regiments, and Titan legions in humanity's final stand against the darkness. The battle spans star systems. Entire worlds burn as staging grounds for armies that number in the billions. Demon Primarchs walk among mortal soldiers, their presence alone driving entire regiments insane with terror and despair. But the Imperium endures, not through superior technology or tactical brilliance, but through absolute faith in humanity's right to exist. The Emperor's children fight to preserve the species that created them, even as that species transforms into something unrecognizable. Victory comes at a price that beggars imagination. Entire Space Marine chapters cease to exist. Guard regiments are reduced to company strength. Worlds that took millennia to build are rendered uninhabitable in hours. Chapter Master Lysander removes his helmet in the ruins of Cadia, breathing air thick with the ashes of heroes and traitors alike. The galaxy is safe for another generation, perhaps 2. The forces of chaos have been driven back to the Eye of Terror, their momentum broken on the absolute conviction of Imperial defenders. But new threats always emerge. Tyrannid hive fleets probe the galaxy's eastern fringes. Orc-Wa'agas gather in the galactic core. Necron tomb worlds stir with ancient malice. The Tau Empire expands through diplomacy and superior technology. The boy who once knelt before the sacred Aquila is gone, transformed into something greater and more terrible than mere mortality could achieve. Chapter Master Lysander stands as proof of humanity's potential and its cost, a living weapon forged in the Emperor's image, wielded in service to a species that has forgotten how to be anything other than warriors. This is the journey from flesh to legend. This is the price of becoming an angel of death. This is what it means to serve the Emperor in the 41st millennium. And somewhere in the galaxy, another 10-year-old child kneels before the sacred Aquila, beginning the cycle anew.